Hello, everybody. Welcome to SureFire Live. I'm your host, Mark Stoner. Hopefully, this week we have a little more connectivity throughout the different platforms. It shows that I should be live between a couple of platforms. So, hang on one second. Let me shut a door. Had some people in the home come home and I didn't shut the door, so you would hear some background noise. Hope you guys are doing okay. Tonight I wanted to talk about just what's new out there between some things that I'm involved with, but also some things that are out there, some products that are available. Some of them are mastermind groups, some of them is software, some of them are AI based things that you can use in your office. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. But it's an open, comment open type of platform. And as you talk to me, I'll talk back to you. And if you have questions, and if I have an answer or an idea, I will definitely share those with you. I see some people are gathering online. So part of that looks like it's working. Let me hit this button to show comments so I can see them. And they will appear here live so I can see it on the screen. So let's make it an interactive night and try to learn something. That's what I'm always about. A lot of times I learn something when I'm, talking to anybody out there. And so share with me as well. And it makes the whole community better. I've got a crazy thunderstorm happening right outside my window, and it's made this window dark, and I don't have as many lights in here, so it's a little bit darker. I'm gonna have to bring my lighting back that I used for the show in the past. It's at my office now for when we make videos, but so that's it. I say hi if you want to. Welcome everybody that's joining us, and I've got my monster and don't hate. Helps me. I like them. Helps me get through the day a little bit. So we'll get started with a couple things. For the past couple of years, I've partnered with Chad Murray, and actually his brother's a developer, and we developed a product called Service Galaxy. And it is now live. We've beta tested on several companies that worked with us to get through the bugs. And it has a lot of AI built into it and a lot of savings. Basically, it's a lot cheaper platform than others like Service Titan and some other big programs that are out there that are very good. But sometimes they're one, very expensive, and two, very hard to deploy. And I'm not saying that ours is necessarily easy. Whenever you make a change from one platform to another, there is definitely some integration that has to be done, especially with your customer list and your files and those kind of things. So we've got Heather said, hey, we're working with Chad and he's wonderful. Yeah, Chad is a business coach, and also he's a entrepreneur-minded chimney guy. And although he recently sold his chimney company, he helped develop this platform. And I just want to show you a couple things about it. So let me present or invite, show screen, and we're going to go with Service Galaxy. So let me just show you this is the website, Service Galaxy. And if you're really a smaller company looking for a different software, this is really built for you. It's for the smaller companies that don't have an extra person to deploy in Service Titan or some bigger platforms that you kind of need people for. It's a lot more affordable on the front side, but it has a ton of really amazing things built in for you that you don't have to, piece together outside software. So it's got a lot of integrations built in. Form builder, so your forms are in there, like for chimney inspections. Really great reporting of reports that you can build, or we can build for you, for how you're doing sales, open estimates, those type things. It has dispatch, so you can dispatch your techs. Obviously scheduling. It integrates with QuickBooks. It has a really cool AI routing feature called Aimer, which helps to AI route your trucks for the best possible day, routing very quickly. Marketing filters, messaging back and forth to clients. They have a portal that your customer or your customers can come in and see their estimates and their invoices, intercompany messages, messaging, invoicing, estimating, payment integration, so you can take credit cards on the spot and it feeds into your invoicing. We on the website servicegalaxy.com, you can watch several videos how AI routing works, how booking works with an AI voice agent that can take the call. It works really well. A lot of our beta people are not using this yet, but it's built in with your different platforms. If some of you use Company Cam, we have built something like Company Cam with that for the image gallery and inspection forms. And you can look at all these kind of things online and then also do a live demo. Currently, our AI, the 150 a month, and you would get AI routing. I'm sorry, you would get scripting, calendar, and dispatch, your catalog items, your inventory management, inspection and estimate forms, team chat, coaching, gallery, and the customer portal, which is $150 a month plus $25 a truck, which is quite a bit cheaper than most other things. But then let's see, I've got there were some other platforms. I don't know why I'm not seeing the other. There's several bundles that are more intensive. Let me make sure they're up here. This is the main one. I think we just made a change of the site. So this is the basic one. If you want add-on, which is the AI routing, which is very good. Like I said, it will tell you where the next customer is closest, and then also how far it is between. That's at additional $50 a month. Marketing email, which currently I use a thing that's extremely expensive. This is only $20 a month. If you want SMS and email notifications, which is this part, 18 event notifications per customer, uses one customer supplied email address, one phone number, sending 2,000 SMS text messages a month. And SMS is 2,000 block segments. So if you need more than 2,000 a month, that you buy those in a block. And then unused SMS messages are reset every billing period and do not roll over. That's only $50 a month. Also, the AI voice agent. Most AI voice agents that answer the phone and can book appointments start at about $750 a month up to $2,000 a month. Ours is $250 a month. It has 1,500 minutes a month, one agent, 24/7 ability, and integrates with your AI routing. And then you can get additional minutes if you have a lot of phone calls in 1,500 block minutes. So again, quite a bit of here. I just want to make sure people know about it and can also then just get any answers that they may need. If you're looking for new software, this is the best time of year to do that, because you don't want to do this change in the fall. You want to do it right now in the spring, early summer, so you have time to integrate it and bring it into your business before rush. You might as well don't want to do this in October, November, right? That would be the wrong time of year to do it. The time to do it is right now. So hopefully, if there's any questions, you can ask that on our chat here, and I will be happy to answer that question. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to show you was, I mentioned it last week, which was the Built to Sell program. We have put together an amazing Built to Sell program, which here's the website. It's BTS. Let me find it. Here it is. And this is our SureFire program that is going to help you understand how to build your business to have an exit at some point. As most people know, you always want to start a business with the end in mind. You don't want the end to pop up on you and all of a sudden you've got to sell it in a fire sale. Some people just want to shut the doors. I talked to somebody the other day that has a good business, and I talked to him about it. He goes, "No, I just want to shut the doors and walk away from it." That's fine. That's his choice. I would think most people are trying to build for an exit that has value, that you've done all this work and you've been paid as you went But when you sell it, you've built some value in there for somebody else to buy it. Well, a lot of us, I've been in the business 41 years, are looking at ways to exit with a valuable company. For years, I didn't think anybody would buy my company because, in a way, it got too big for. In a way, the way I was thinking, it was too big for most people to buy, and the companies that were much bigger wouldn't understand chimneys. So I thought it was going to be kind of like a hard exit. Well, lo and behold, private equity, family funds, brokers have come around and said, "Oh no, there's people that will buy your company. There's quite a bit of value for it, and you need to understand all that." Everything is built into selling a company, into the value of a company, what people find valuable, what's not valuable. Like, you would be surprised, but something that's not valuable is your equipment, or your new vans, or some of that stuff that you bought that generated the revenue is actually not really that valuable. It's more of the repeatable business that you have. It's the contracts that you have. It's the profit that you make currently. A lot of times when we were, in business, we were trying to not pay taxes, right? You were trying to kind of hide it all so you don't have to pay big taxes. And that's an advantage of owning a business. But at some point, you do need to show that you're profitable and that you're bankable. And in that kind of does counter, as you get closer, you want to, make sure that you are bankable and your books show that. Another thing that I recently discovered when I was moving through private equity is I was always told that an S corp, an LLC S corp was the best formation. Now, I'm not giving tax strategy right here, but I can tell you this: if you get ready to sell, actually a C corp is a lot better. If you've owned the C corp for more than 5 years, you don't pay capital gains tax on a C corp when you sell it, usually for the first like $10 million. If you've owned it for over, I think 5 years is the minimum. But if you've owned it since the start and you're moving to sell it, and let's just say you sell your company for $5 million, that's, if you don't have to pay capital gains tax on that, when you do in the S corp and you don't in a C corp, that's pretty valuable information. And so there's several things like that to set up so that when you exit, you've done the best you can and position yourself the best way possible. And so in Built to Sell, we're going to start off with kind of mindset, building companies, and what it's going to take to really ramp up. You got to have energy for this. And then we're going to bring on people that can evaluate your company where it is now. They'll give you a quick, fair evaluation. That's not cheap. If you have to buy that outside of that, that can be several thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, to get an evaluation of your company. But these people that we work with are pretty quick at it. They've got a full team behind them, and they'll give you, a pretty close number to what your company is valued at now. They've done probably 70, 80 of these evaluations in the chimney industry. I've talked to their analysts, and they are very good at what they do. But that's part of the program. You'll meet people that are buying businesses, selling businesses. We're going to have speakers on that have sold businesses themselves. We're going to have people that buy businesses. We're going to have all types of people around it. So you learn the language, you learn what's important, you learn what's not important, and basically educate yourself for something that you may want to do in a couple of years or 5 years or 10 years. You know how to move the right way. I can tell you, my story, which I've said before. I built a one truck operation for 17 years. I just worked by myself, and I thought that was the value of the business until I fell off a roof, got hurt, tried to sell the business, and nobody wanted to buy it. That was a really bad aha moment for me, that I had built something that nobody wanted to buy. Now, all these other times I built on top line profit, like our top line revenue, like how big is your company? Is it 2 million? Is it 5 million, 10 million, 15 million? And that does matter a lot. But one thing that really matters more is the EBITDA. That's the value calculator for how a company is evaluated. We're going to talk a lot about that and how to maximize that. So that's a thing called built to sell. So if you go to surefireb2s.com, you can see our platform there. You can learn more about it. You can talk to any of us on the phone, and we'd love to have you join our group. We have a limit of 25 seats, and we are going to work very hard to get 25 people. You're going to start off in Nashville. You're going to come to my business, and we're going to have a big kind of opening party and a launch. We're going to go through 10 months of building businesses and doing that, learning the language. And at the end, we're going to have a party in St. Thomas, and we're going to have a good time down there. And hopefully you've got an evaluation on your business that you like, or you have a game plan for what you need to do to get an evaluation down the road of something that you would like to see. So that's built to sell. That's again, that's a software that we're doing, and that is also a platform that we have built to help. Not that this whole thing is sales, but as long as I'm waiting on people to comment or ask questions, I might as well show you the things that I'm involved with and that we're doing. On SureFire, some people don't really understand how SureFire really works, or they don't use it into their full potential. We've got thousands of people using SureFire, every month. But I watch some companies are really active on it, and some people it's just like a gym membership and they don't use it. So I wanted to show you tonight how I use it in my company when we get on new technicians, how we use this platform to speed up the process of getting them into a truck. And so let me share the screen now for the SureFire. And I just wanted to show you how this works for me. I hope this is interesting to you. But I've pulled up my company here, and this is Ashbusters, and we can build this out for you. If you come onto the platform and you say, hey, set me up like Ashbusters is set up, we can set this up just like this easily. And we've done several companies this way. You'll see lots of companies that have my systems, but some people build it differently with teams. Some people build, Blackbeard says Pirate 1 and Pirate 2. That's pretty cool. But, some people like Brickliners, which he's a partner of ours in this, he built it out like me, but he's added some other steps. And then you can see, now, let me just say this, other people can't see how you've built it. And then you can also add your own education onto this platform so that you can do it the way you want. But some people build it that way, but you can see some people don't really build it, and they let people. When you would build it out, what that does for you is just gives everybody a direction in what you want them to do. So let me just come back to my company, Ashbusters Nashville. And if you start with me in my company, you start on apprentice step 1. And let me show you what that looks like. So in this case, new hires 0 to 30 days, you come on. And then you start in You start in these courses that are in step 1 that we've already preloaded. So a new apprentice gets assigned these courses, and let's just say it's Chimney Saver products or, Chimney Defender products. And we show videos in here of how things work. We show installer videos, and the technicians can watch what it's supposed to do and then how to apply it, all the way through the coatings and through the waterproofing. And then, very detailed on a product that a lot of people use in the industry. But you can also, put your own products on there and show how that works. Then they'll move into like CSI, because the accidents happen. This is just a very quick video of how accidents happen. And then they take a quiz. As the owner, you can see, I'm going to have to move this. You can see if the technicians have done it or not. You got ladder safety, rope safety, chimney inspections level 1. It starts getting them to speak chimney. And Jim Brewer built these out, which is like new tech module 1. These are very detailed. This is, checklist that they can do, which is I have preview the presentation, but all the things that they would need for a new technician, safety bags, respirators, step ladders, setting up roof ladders. These are the things that you can print this off and make sure they've done it in the field, or you can do it digitally online. Let me see here. So I have to move this slide as I'm messing with my, hang on one second. So then, he's built in everything here: safety bag, videos, personal protection, what you would need for the PPE in that bag. You can watch videos on that, then checklists. You see how detailed it is. Oh, I have all my technicians go through all of this in the first 30 days. It's pretty detailed. And then they get into the chimney and venting. They start doing some parts about the books, about what we read for certification. So our process is always to set them up to be ready to certify. So let me move this. Hope that makes sense. That is apprentice step 1. And then I've got this 5 times. So as you saw, let me just get to Mark Ashbusters. Again, with that, I've got apprentice step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Ash Brothers, now Ash Busters. So all these apprentice steps, all the way to certification. Then you can go into Ash Busters office staff. So again, you would pick your company, but all the things that you would want them to learn, like communicating effectively. This is our CSR platform, complaint handling, delivering consistent customer sales experience, excellent in customer service. All these things that you want your office staff to learn. And we've got, let's just look at complaint handling real quick. Let's go preview course. And then, you've got a video here for them to watch. And I don't know if I can play it here, but yeah, it looks like it's going to play. So resume where I left off. Yes. Maybe I'll hit no. Oh, it looks like it's stuck. It's hard to share on a Zoom, but it's loading now. Feels like the Tesla thing when he threw the rock through the window. But anyway, I think it's hard to share 2 times, 2 videos on the StreamYard. But basically, you see where I'm getting at. There's all the videos for your customer service people, your technicians, there's safety, there's sales, there's gas. And I will show you something that's kind of interesting too. If I go to the home page here, you can see how many people are taking lessons like right now. We've got people, right now at 6:21, somebody is taking this watching this video. And we've got, all day long, people are taking tests, people are taking quizzes. You can see like every minute or 2, there's people that are going through the process to get their CEUs or to learn something new and keep their certifications. You can see this is just today, and this is in the last 2 hours. You've got a lot of people getting their education this way, and we're happy that it's this useful and this helpful for people to get education, stay educated. So you can see there's people that get on it and stay working through it. We love that. That is what this is for. But the worst thing that we hate is if somebody buys the platform and then they don't use it. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen for us. Couple questions. Heather is from Paul. Heather is what I want to do with this is what I want to do with all new hire techs so they have a career path. Exactly. You show people that this is the plan. I've got it laid out for you. We've got it set up from some of the best chimney companies in the US, and this is their platform to get technicians ready to go. One, you can sleep better at night, right? You can you can understand that education is the key to growing your company quality, growing your company knowledge, keeping you out of lawsuits. Like the more you lean into education and certification, the better your company is. There's just no doubt about it. The problem is it's expensive. We've made it not so expensive, but also it's easy to access. But what's easy to access is also easy not to access. So this is a leadership thing. If you tell me that you can't get your guys to do it, I'm going to look right back at you and say, you are the problem, because you're not serious about it. You want to be serious about it. You might even buy the gym membership or buy the SureFire thing and say, here it is. I can't get anybody to do it. Really? Are you sure about that? What do you think? Do you think I could get them to do it? I can promise you I can get them to do it. Our whole team does this as part of the normal thing. I have a person that does it, but if I didn't have a person, we'd have an accountability process to make sure you do it. Because it's important to me that you're educated, you speak chimney, and not only that, that you all learn from the same place, the same source of truth, as we would say. Now, that might be giving Jim Brewer too much credit. I don't think so, but or Alan Rush or myself, but and all the people that teach this thing, right? Well, if you send everybody to the same place, we're at least starting from the same point. If I teach you how to do it and you teach Jim how to do it and Jim teaches Joe how to do it, there's no way it's the same. So we call that big dog, little dog training. So there's no way that me teaching is going to be the same as Joe 4 levels down understanding and teaching. So the idea for this online platform is for everybody to start in the same place. Now, yes, they're still going to change things up, but at least we got base level education. Everybody's speaking the same language. Everybody saw the right way to do it, the first time. And then also you can add your training to this platform. So if you've made videos or you believe this is the best way that I want to do as an owner, you stick that in this platform and therefore you've made your training platform. Like this setup is a lot what I built. But the great thing about SureFire platform is you can add yours in, and also we add new content every month. So you find a new thing from CSIA or from us, you can add it in, and now you've got your customizable platform that you built with our help. And man, you're on your way to growing a dynamic company. One of the problems is training. A lot of guys can't get guys to get trained or stay trained. Well, that is, again, leadership, and that's focus to make sure that happens. And are you going to lose people that you've put a lot of money into and trained? Yeah. So what? So does everybody else. I mean, that shouldn't stop you from doing it. It should frustrate you. And if you're losing a lot of people, you need to look at some other things that, would, add to people leaving. That's an internal thing you need to figure out. Paul also said, how long does it take to go through the SureFire apprentice program for a tech? Great question. I have a timeline of basically 4 to 5 months. And at first, it's very intense. They don't go out in the field for a couple of weeks. They stay in with the trainer and do tons of we start with safety. So with all your training platform and all your training, you should always start with safety, because if OSHA comes and talks to you, and you put them on a ladder and they weren't trained on a ladder, or they've got a harness on and they weren't trained on the harness or PPE or any of the things, the first thing you're going to ask you is, where's the training? Now, you can't welcome a new guy in, give him a safety bag, a PPE bag, here's the thing, get on a ladder, and think that that's any type of training. So, most guys don't get in trouble, but if you do, you're hung out to dry. So we started off with a couple of weeks of training on, you saw Jim's thing. We start with safety. And again, that has got to be your culture now in chimney business. You have to have a culture of safety, which means training on safety every week, talking about safety, doing audits on safety. It just is what it is and what you really need to do. So in SureFire, we focus on that as well. In my company, we focus on it big time. So then first couple of weeks of we're teaching them chimney language, we're teaching them safety, and then they'll go out back and forth with technicians or the trainer. He'll have jobs, he'll bring them, he'll train them, bring them back. And then we try to get guys certified within 3 to 6 months. That doesn't mean they're ready for a truck or anything like that, but we are fast paced at getting them through the process and getting them ready to go. So when we're ready to expand and put them in a truck, they've got all the things, but also they're getting a lot of field experience, but they've got a lot of book knowledge too. Neither one is enough. Field knowledge without book knowledge is not enough, and vice versa. Anybody, some people can just go pass a test, but really know nothing in the field. So this is a combination of both things. And then I think we've got some of the best technicians out there. They're absolutely amazing. They're very good. They do a great job for customers. They got amazing reviews. They're very knowledgeable. They feel very confident about what they're doing in homes, and it kind of feeds on itself and builds on itself. So great questions, Paul. Thank you for those. Also, anybody who wants to ask questions, I'm here to make it part of the night. And I want to try to start to do this every Tuesday night and just have talks and help people. And it doesn't have to be some self-promoting thing. I've got several products. A lot of people don't know how they work. So, I'm definitely going to show you those. But I want to show you some other things that I did not design or did not build that I use to help for tonight. So I wanted to lean into, we're about halfway through 30 minutes. I usually do the show for an hour unless we're absolutely on fire, and I'll stay on it and ask questions or answer questions. But the one other thing I wanted to talk about was a program we use called Lace, which is an AI. I showed you that we have a great system in Service Galaxy that answers the phone for you, and it's tied into Service Galaxy. And I think it is a fantastic program for the right companies. But if you're already using one of the bigger platforms that you can't get off of or don't want to switch from, there's outside, ad hoc apps that add on to what you do. One of them I use is called Lace for my customer service people in booking. So now we answer the phone 24/7 with an AI agent. You could call my office right now, and our AI agent is called Ashton, and he will answer the phone and he will answer a lot of standard questions, and he will book your appointment, and it will go into our system, and he looks for the opening and he puts you in there. Our office the next day clarifies that that's a good thing. Also, we listen to anything that got hung up on or he messed up on, and we have to then fill out a little form, and we train him like you would train any other person. But when you train AI once, it stays on it. You train a person once, they're like, well, always forget to say that, or I forgot to add that, or I messed up with the price. AI doesn't do that. It needs training sometimes in ways that you wouldn't think it would need, but it does. And then it doesn't forget. It just does it every time. And so I'm going to show you a program called Lace, which is an AI. Well, let me just back up. One of the first places you should look at your business, if you're going to try to grow it, is the phone calls coming in, and listen to how your CSRs handle the incoming calls. Because I can show you all kinds of marketing and give you all kinds of leadership, but if all these phone calls coming in are then not capitalized on and booked, or what we used to do is if they said, okay, I'll call you back, we just let them call us back, or we filled out an email and we answered the question and like, we'll get back to you. We just let that happen like that, but we don't let that happen anymore. If you call and leave a message and say, well, I need to check with my husband, that's still on the table to make phone calls with. That doesn't go in the trash and we'll just wait for you to call back. That's a very hot lead. It's very expensive to get that lead, and you need to, we call it rehash, but you need to reach back out and check with them. Now, sometimes they found somebody cheaper, but sometimes that person cheaper wasn't so good. So you reaching out, the one call into you, if you don't get it, that's not dead. That should be in your world, part of your follow-up process. So Lace helps us with that. I'm going to show you my screen of how that works for us. So this is my screen. Let me move this over just a little bit. Okay. So this is past 7 days, and our success booking rate is 86%. When I first started with Lace, it was about 75%. And we have been as high as 100% in a day, or sometimes, probably 92% in a week. Now, total calls are 493, but you all know how much junk comes in. But of those qualified calls that we would consider qualified, we got 145. We booked 124 in this past week. Now, what's fantastic about this is it kind of categorizes stuff. So I've got 3 locations. I can go by location. I can also filter it by, how did the AI agent do versus the human agents. And like, I can pull him up. He normally books at about 50%. In this case, it was 40. Well, a lot of these are after hours, and a lot of these he hands off to, he can't answer. So he hands it off, says, we'll have somebody call you. But this is the campaign that came from, these are Google. That's another campaign. And, this is things now on this, it shows this thing on fire right here. It means that should be a good one. So let's look at it real quick. All right. It says update call in. We updated it because it was actually to an unbooked lead. You can listen to the call right here.
Thank you for calling Ashbuster's Chimney Service. My name is Ashton, a virtual assistant here to help you schedule service and answer some questions. How can I help you today?
What is your $69 special?
So this person asked for a $69 special. We do not have a $69 special. This is one of those scam companies. But, it's one of those things that a real person doesn't want to handle this either. And I don't mind that I didn't put my staff through this. And, they had to explain the $69 person trying to get that. And, we basically didn't get that, but he handled it. So he handles after hours and holidays. He handles weekends and he handles overflow. If all the tech, everybody's busy, he picks that up. But he says right off the bat, I'm a virtual assistant. I'm not trying to fool anybody. And some people say, I want to speak to a customer, a real person. Boom. It says, no problem. I'll get them for you. And sometimes he can't answer the questions, or there's certain things that trigger him to talk to a person, and we'll say, hey, we can't answer that for you. Wait 1 second. But people are getting more and more confident with it. And, if you look at it, he booked 4 jobs on his own. And he booked it over the weekend, or when when we weren't operating. This was an overflow, but he booked let's just look at what he booked. He booked this one at 6:35 a.m. We weren't open yet. He booked that call, got it done. And this is just in the past week. I can kind of back up and let's just look at the past 30 days. We just really got him going. So let's just look at booked. Okay, so he booked this one at 5:34 p.m. We were not there. 6:35 a.m. We were not there. 10:24 a.m. we were there, and it was overflow. 5:02 we had just shut down. This was overflow. 2:24. But this person, I thought that was PM, but pretty much overflow is what he's picking up a lot of. But this was 8 o'clock at night. This was at 5:30. You see where I'm going? Like, he's booking things that are, a lot of it we wouldn't have caught, or they would go to voicemail. And in this case, this is kind of the new voicemail. This is what people are getting used to listen to and to go to. So I hope that makes sense. So let me go back to this. So in Lace, let's just go back to all of the people. And here's some cool stuff too. So let's just go to, I can go to quality. This is a really great thing. The hot lead for the past 30 days. These are the ones that looked like we should get them. And this is the rehash one. We didn't get them. And it would say why, what the objection was. They wanted approximate pricing requests. This one, they needed time to decide. This one needed time to decide. This person wanted us to do an online estimate. We told them we wanted to do an in-person estimate only. These kind of things. Tells us what it is. That one had, so I love that high value, like which ones are really high value that we got. So that's the calls. But then you can go to, this is the dashboard. We have this up in our office, and our office staff can see it. And they can see, if I go to, let me see this dashboard. Where's my full screen? There's a button I can push that just shows the full screen. Oh, here it is. Full. Okay, so we have this on a TV screen that everybody can see, and it shows their success rate, how many calls they took, and then we have a playbook that they try to go down and do all the things we want them to do, and how often do they stay on the playbook to do that. And I'm going to show you something that we landed on. So Tara does not love to be on the phone, and she will tell you that right now. She's our overflow person. You can see from the call volume. And Heather's been on vacation, but in this case, she doesn't really like doing it. She doesn't follow the playbook. She books pretty well, but she really hates it. So we move up. The people who follow the playbook more tend to book more jobs, just how it is. Ashton follows the playbook still 75% of the time, even though he's AI. Sometimes he can't get to all of the parts of the playbook before the call is ended, but he follows it the most, still books roughly at a 50% rate. But this kind of like insight is absolutely epic. Also, here's the playbook. It makes the playbooks for you. So if you need to understand more empathy, or let's just look at personalization, JC, who needs the most coaching needs is JC. It says she could use more help with that part of it. And then it also shows the playbook at times of what they could listen to who overcame an objection, like this is too expensive. We talked about something and we got them back in the boat. And that goes into the playbook automatically so people can look at it. So there's several of these there are several of these programs out there. This is just one I use. I don't get paid by Lace. I don't promote it as the best. It's just the one we use. So hopefully that helps you understand some of these really new programs out there. And I would just argue that if you're still using a voicemail, you need to consider that as you're starting to fall behind, right? People don't like leaving voicemails. They won't leave voicemails. And if they do, by the time you get back to it, they may have already gone with somebody else. And, I showed you how much that AI agent booked after hours for us. And that's how people do business anymore. They're sitting there watching TV. They see something, they're on their phone, they're on the internet, and they can book it all without talking to anybody, and people are starting to like that a lot. And with AI, you need to look into having that to help make revenue for you. In this case, that thing cost me $750 a month. It's booked, it's probably booked 100 jobs by now. And, an average job for me, just a chimney sweep average job is over $700 just, from our upsales and things we do. But an average ticket for us is $5,500 on a repair. And that thing pays for itself automatically. It also just screens the crap so that my office staff isn't just inundated. What you saw, 450 calls in 30 days, and really 150 of them were real. All those ones that they have to go through to get to the real ones is like brain damage. Nobody wants to do that. So eventually, and I've been watching some of these big HVAC companies, the AI picks up almost all incoming calls. It's first line of defense. And then your real people are the ones who do outbound calls, the follow-up calls, the real personal interaction, because you really want to talk to a real person when you want to talk to a real person. You don't necessarily need that for, like, I booked online for my garage door repair recently, and I just talked to an AI agent and it said, I've got time tomorrow. Can we have a technician out there? Sure enough, technician showed up. I'm like, I don't need to talk to a real person for that. Now, if I got a problem with the technician, I want to talk to AI for sure. But people are understanding that. I think you'd be real clear that I'm AI. At any point you want to talk to a real person, we definitely understand. We'll get you right through. And then you don't want to have it to be a loop, because if you reach out to a real person and they're still busy, it comes back and says, welcome, I'm Ashton. How can I help you? And like, I just told you I want to talk to a real person. So there has to be an exit on it. So when you say real person, then it goes to a voicemail after that, or something like that. So that is some of the AI that I'm using. I will show you some more things on AI if you're interested. Give me a thumbs up out there. I've got a handful of people. I've got a few thumbs up. Again, I will take some of these out. Let's see, I'll show these, take these comments out. So anyway, I want to show you some things. It was the other day about people were talking about the NFPA 211 being on Chat GPT, and if that's legal, and like copywritten material up there. And so I had made a suggestion that you could upload, if you've bought a copy of a NFPA 211, you could upload the whole thing, the PDF, to ChatGPT, the paid version, and say, I want to make this an FPA 211 assistant. And you've uploaded the entire manual up into your own assistant, and you can start asking it questions, and it will reference something that you purchased. And so there's nothing bad or wrong about that material being copywritten or being used, especially for your own use. You've just made a high level searchable PDF by doing that. And you can do that with anything. You could add every manual that you install for your regular, if you have a hardware store like Paul does, or you could upload all your manuals. It'll take you probably an afternoon, get them all, get the PDFs. You don't have to read them, just upload the whole PDF. Say, make this my searchable database for my products, for my thing. And then you can ask it anything, and it's got all the right information that you trained it on. You can, so again, like right yesterday, I'm building a GPT that will help us estimate powder coating jobs. Basically, I uploaded all of our information of how we estimate, and I uploaded a bunch of schematics that we were estimating for, and then I showed how we bid for it. And I'm training it to then be able to look at blueprints and pictures and give me an accurate price on things. And so I will say that, that's one of the deadliest things for our powder coating. We get so many requests for proposals, and so many people are just getting a price on this thing so then they can put a proposal to somebody else to build the thing, design it, build it, and we powder coat it, and somebody else adds it together and installs it. So we have to put out so many estimates, and we have to do them fast and quickly. And, we probably have a 5% success rate. Now, certain vendors use us all the time. They say, what's the price? We throw it out there, they get the job, and they're like automatic. But so many new customers coming in, they're just trying to see if we fit in their pricing model. And I'm going to use AI for that big time. So, so Paul says, great info. Love the new tech stuff. I know the next word was stuff. So thank you, Paul, for that. I love this stuff. Anything that can make my life easier as a business owner, I'm all about it. And hopefully, these things can help you too. If I'm into it and I can weed through it and be like a source of maybe new ideas, I like that. I could show you how to build a GPT, a quick version of this if you're interested. Let me just pull up ChatGPT real quick, and I'll show you how this works. You can do this on Grok or other things. Let me just log in. Here we go. Okay, continue as Mark. Let me sign in. And then I'll share my screen. It's coming on. Log in. Okay, here we go. All right, GPTs. All right, so let me share my screen with you. Oh, here we go. All right, share screen. ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm going to show you, a regular screen that you would see is, looks like this at the top. What a lot of people don't realize is over here in the GPTs, you can hit Explore GPTs, and then this button right up here says Create. So this is how you make your own GPT, and what that means is you upload the information you wanted to know, and then you access it as your own GPT. So again, here's some that are already built. You've seen a lot of these. A lot of people don't realize there's all these GPTs out there, but all these things you can, I like some of these are like negotiator, some of these are contracts, some of these, are for pictures or songs. There's all these GPTs that are already kind of pre-built and sitting back there for you. If you want to code, do research. I've done this with my chocolate company where we put in recipes, and it'll help us understand the recipe, the cost of a new product, and those kind of things. So again, there's a million GPTs, but let me go into showing you. I'll show you one I built recently, which was, Chimney Inspection Pro. This was one I built for looking, and this was the idea from Jake Loeffler. So this wasn't my idea. He showed me how he built one. But basically, we uploaded all of our reports. We uploaded the NFPA 211, uploaded, and we referenced the CSIA manual to always draw from that. And then I uploaded my price book from ServiceTitan and all my prices and things into this. So now it knows how we charge, what codes we're doing. So in this case, you can see some of my pre-prompts are analyze this inspection form, build a repair estimate from these notes, what codes are used, what code issues do you see here if I upload a picture, format this into a customer report, or things that it will do for me now. So if my technician writes a report, he will be able to upload this into there, and it will look through it and be critical of it. But then if you upload the report and the estimate, it will make sure that those two things talk together. Now, I've run into an issue with my technicians in the field using this because they need the paid version for one, and two, they need to be able to move documents across. So this is a work in progress, but I've used it and I could use it. It's very effective, and it looks at both things. So, well, you said here it had level 3 glazed creosote, I should say, and then in your estimate, you didn't say anything about cleaning it. You missed it. Or you said the crown was cracked, but then down here, you didn't bid for a cracked crown, but like that kind of stuff. It makes sure. Or you said that this wasn't a big deal, but the code says this is a big deal. So legally, you may be on the hook for wrong information. That's what this does. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to build a GPT. You hit create and two windows pop up. This one is the create side, and this one is what it looks like as you're building it. So over here, you can say, I want to build and I'll just go off what I was saying, an NFPA 211 assistant, code assistant for my technicians in the field and my office, just whatever. It's going to start to then it's going to try to build a logo for you. It's going to build a name for you. See, it says updating GPT. So it's starting to remember it. Okay. So now he suggested a name. We're going to call it NFPA 211 Field Assistant. Clearly communicates. The purpose is easy for technicians to recognize. Would you like to use NFPA 211 Field Assistants, or do you have another in mind? I like the name you came up with. So in this, so then again, so we're off to the races. It's going to come up with a profile picture for the app, and I'll just accept it so we don't have to spend time on it, but it's still working on it. Let's see. Okay, so there's the name is set. Also attempt to generate an initial profit, but the image generation service encountered an error. Once it's available, I'll create a simple recognizable icon. It does that. So in this case, I would then add files to it. If I had the NFPA 211 PDF here, I would find this thing and I would upload it into here, and then it references it. And if you want, the CSIA PDF, I'm not sure if that's on PDF, but you see what I'm doing. I'm just telling it what to do and what to build. And then over here, I test it. And then if it needs something wrong, I come back over into the configure create area and I add what it needs to be better at. And then you've got your own GPT at the end. So this is in draft form, and you can see, again, here's my ones that I have finished, but I also have one called Sales Pipe Enforcer. What this is I've created this so I can upload all of my open estimates into one file. And let's just say I have 2 years of open estimates. It will go through there. And what I've told them is our sweet spot estimate is between $4,000 and $6,000. That is a price that a lot of people can move forward with. We love that size job. We're quick at it. We're good at getting those done. And they're good money makers for us. So it will optimize it for how long the estimate's been out there, how it looks like at where it is, and the value it is, and then it pops out a whole list in order of the ones we should call and go after. And so when we're slow, this is one of the tactics we use to, make follow-up phone calls or send out text messages or those kind of things. And I've built this, within, 20 minutes, and then I've practiced with it, uploading our open estimates to it, and it sorts it and does it. So, those are some of the ways to use. So let's see, a couple things. John, hey John, how are you, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. John's got a heck of a pressure wash maintenance business, like a commercial maintenance business, and absolutely amazing thing he's built there. So thanks for joining us, John. And Isaiah, hey man, is this only on the computer version? Yes, I believe so. I don't think you can do this. You can build GPTs on your phone. I think you have to do it on desktop at this point. Now, you may be able to do this on Claude or Grok. They've got ways to build it, but I've built all this on my desktop, but then it's on my, it is usable on your phone, but I think you build them on your desktop is how it works currently. But yeah, that's how I'm doing it. And it's not perfect. You've got to, all this AI stuff is not perfect. You have to check it, correct it, but it's it gets you through so much data so fast and gives you really good information to act on. It clarifies everything. I'm having a GPT built I'm going to build one for my marketing plans for my different companies and throw in what we're trying to do, and it'll build so that, like, when I have an outside marketing source work with me, I'll give them that GPT to put their ideas or their thought processes in it, and it will say, is this on brand? Is this the right message? Is this, the parameters I've set? It can kind of clarify if it's missing something. One of the things about branding that is so, common, but people mess it up all the time, is when you create a marketing piece, you say, is this on brand? And a lot of people forget to even ask that question. Is it the right colors? Is it the right font? Is it, is it on brand, or is it something else somebody else did that they like, but it doesn't really fit your brand? You have to protect your brand all the time, from font changes to color changes to message changes. And you've got to be very, diligent about things not going off brand, especially if you have a very clear brand, a recognizable brand, and you have to stay on that. So Ashbusters, that's a very clear brand. It's a single word. It's a .com. And then I've got Fireplace Chimney Masonry. That is a pretty clear message, but we have to stay on it. I don't want to throw in dryer vents or other things that we might do, but to clarify the brand, and these colors in here are in a platform that, we stay on brand. I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I'm going to show you my brand guide. Let me see if I can show you this. All right, share screen. I'll show you what I mean by that. Presenter invite, stop screen, share screen. Where is it? Cancel. Why can't I share this? Share. One more time. I might not be able to show it. Share screen. Is it under Google? No. Where did it go? I see it on my one screen, but you can't see it. And I don't know why. Window. Let me check window. Here it is. Okay. All right, so this is the Ashbusters brand guide. You need to have a brand guide. You can build this real easy. ChatGPT can build it for you. You can put your logo in there and say, build me a brand guide for my logo. And what it will do is it will show, like in this case, I can send this to somebody else, the Pantone colors. This is the grayscale colors, and this is the one color. So somebody says you're getting a t-shirt, but you can have one color. I can send them this. It's going to be black and white color or whatever, but this is what it looks like. And then here's my actual brand colors with the real processed colors that when I send this to somebody, these are the exact colors to use in different, different things. You got your Pantone colors, you got your spot colors, you got your CMYK, which is kind of if you're doing print, You got RGB, which is online film stuff. And then you've got the hexadecimal, which is your office documents and things. So this shows what to use. If somebody's making something for me, I send them to this first and say, make sure you use this. Here's my fonts. And it says the names of the fonts and where you can get them and what they are. And these are all Adobe fonts. So somebody, you know, if you can't use this in Canva, you won't find these. But you can ask ChatGPT to find this, you know, Avia expanded bold Adobe font in Canva, and it'll say this is the closest thing to it. But if you're asking somebody to build something for you, you want to stay on your brand. Make them get the Adobe font or however you built it out, get that exact font and use it in the way that your brand is. These are logo uses, best practices. I want you to leave a safe zone around my logo. Don't infringe on it. Don't get close to it. Don't put something laid over something. There's got to be a clear designation of the logo, and it stands by itself. And so, you know, these kind of rules around it. And I could put in these things like, here's the things not to do. Don't retype it. Don't change my colors. Don't stretch it. Don't change the proportions. You know, don't do these things. Don't add any effects around it. Don't add any elements like rules. And then here's the different designer, the packs for what you use each of my colors for and how to use my whole logo in different settings. Other rules that they need to understand. And, you know, here's my logo. So, you know, hopefully these things are helpful with clarity of your message. So then I got another question. Hey, Bethany, how are you doing? I just asked Alan to help me figure out the GPT builder. Now I don't need him. Thanks, Mark. Well, whenever you can not need Alan, it's always better. You know, just it's my rule of, you know, when I don't need Alan Rush, my life is better. But anyway, Bethany is Alan's daughter, but love Alan. Just kidding. Alan is a source, is a great resource. But yes, Bethany, that's how you build a GPT in a very basic way. There's so many things you can do building these out, but the more you teach it, the more useful it is and the more you'll use it. So, well, guys, I've kind of, it's kind of like drinking from a fire hydrant tonight. Hopefully something I hit your hot button and you can use. I am going to try to do these every Tuesday for a while until I start vacationing again. About once a month, I get to go somewhere fun. In June, we just did our Sweepaway Cancer Rally, and let me just put that up here real quick. I'm going to type in a banner, create banner real quick, Sweepaway Cancer. And man, we raised $15,000 for, scroll across, add banner. So let me make sure if it's going to work. Did it work? Show. So sweepawaycancer.com. We raised $15,000 in as a charity. We had a rally in the mountains and we had the largest crowd we've ever had, and we raised the most money we ever had. We had fantastic vendors, National Chimney, Lindemann Chimney, Copperfield. We had Rush Profits. We had Ashbusters. We had Burrowtech. We had Blue Rocket. We had individuals. We had Anthony Valerio with Four Winds. We had Neil Sturgis with Seaside. We had the CSIA was a big donor for our event. And basically what we do is we raise money and we give it all away for people who have cancer. We don't tell you how to spend the money. It's a grant, it's a gift. If you tell us you have cancer, sometimes we ask for some proof. If we don't know, we have to see some things, make sure people aren't scamming us. But we give the money away, and we've been in business, or we've had the charity, I think, since 2014, and we've given away almost $500,000 now. So it's a fantastic. We've got a lot of great stories, and we do events and raise money. And so we just had that event in the mountains, and it was super fun. There's going to be some pictures coming out on Facebook that show that. But if you can give, I promise you, it's one of the cleanest, best run charities there are. We're not the biggest, but we do not spend money on anything we don't have to. Nobody gets paid. And every dollar, every penny that we can squeeze out of the donation, we give it to the people. Sometimes we have to pay accountants, and we have to pay for certain things. Like when we did this event in the mountains, we had to pay catering, but our vendors took care of that. And we just really try to give a bunch of money away. And it's all from Chimney Sweeps. This isn't Mark Stoner's money that we're giving to people. This is, of course, I donate, but this majority of the money is given from the chimney sweep industry. And I think it's one of the coolest things we do as an industry. This and Warrior Horse are two fantastic, differently and a motivated type of charities that the chimney industry supports. A couple more pictures. On duty. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, Brian. Hope you're doing well. You got some good news coming your way, I know. And good to see you. Amazing info, Mark. Thank you. You're very welcome. And then Paul says, the office is going to cut me off SureFire if I keep bringing things to implement. That Paul, just step up, brother, and say, this is how we build the business. I don't give you too much information. I might give you a lot to do, and you got to implement it at the right time. But here's my favorite saying for everybody in my company, feel free to use it. I said, and let's just say it's this year, 2026. How we do it in 2026 will not be how we do it in 2027, guaranteed. I promise you, the systems we have, there's something that has to be torn down and rebuilt for sure. Get used to it. That's how this company works. Don't get tied to anything we do, because at any point, I don't mean to scare you, but there's some better thing that has to be done for us to get to the next $1 million or the next $5 million. We must change, or the world will change us. I prefer to change ourselves first before the world disrupts us. The world is disrupting you right now, but the truth is, and I said this on the last podcast, and I'll end with this, AI is your friend. In blue-collar work, you need to understand it. You need to deploy it. You need to be used to it. You should talk about AI every week in your company about what you're going to do with it, because it's going to superpower you. It's going to help you in all aspects, from legal, your legal documents, to your contracts, to your SOPs, to your marketing, to how your customers are handled, to your emails going out. Run it through AI before you send it. Like all those things, you need to implement AI across the board, and it will improve your process to the customer. And this is only going to help you if you use it. The last thing you should ever say is, oh, I don't trust AI. I don't understand it. I'm not using it. I'm just not going to go down that road. Don't get behind on this. You're going to get beat in business bad. Worst case, you probably just won't grow. You'll stay where you are, and you won't understand how to grow the business. You'll kind of be stuck. I choose not to be stuck. I choose to stay relevant, be the source of information, be on the front side of education, be on the front side of new things, and know if I want to deploy it or not. But you have to stay hungry. You have to stay teachable. You have to stay willing to learn. You do not know everything you need to know right now, and you never will. So always be open for, criticism for one, open for new ideas, and act on them. Don't close down your mind and your brain. I've given you 5 things tonight to think about, and chances are maybe all 5 were brand new information for you. Maybe 3 of them were, 2 of them you know about, but you didn't do anything about. Like, this is how we teach each other and learn. So stay hungry, stay active, and then, stay curious. That's the main thing. All right, guys, that's my time. Went over a little bit. Thank you. It looks like everybody stayed with me. I didn't lose anybody through the night. Sometimes you get a rise and up if I'm getting boring or I'm not connecting. So thank you for giving me this part of your night. And if you can, donate to Sweep Away Cancer, and we will make sure it goes to good people. On it. So he ends it on AI. Let's go. Love this. All right, man. Appreciate you. Good luck with everything, everyone. And we'll see you next week. See you. Bye.